Have you built an e-commerce store but only got 2 to 3 orders weekly? Did you run ads to draw traffic to your site but not got a single order? Maybe there's something wrong with your site's or product page. This video will help you find out the problem. Hello guys, this is Demi from CJdropshipping and welcome to our channel. Today we invited Elliott Prendy, who is an experienced expert on e-commerce branding and marketing, and he will review 7 Shopify dropshipping stores with us and share his tips on how to improve them. So now let's welcome Elliott to join us. Hi Elliott, how are you?
Yeah, doing well, doing good. How about yourself?
Good too. So, could you please just introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I'm Elliott Prendy. I've been doing dropshipping for almost four years now. Managed to scale some of my stores to 4 figures per month. So not millions, but enough to live off of that income. And now I've used some of that money to try and transition into branded e-commerce. So I'm starting a custom branded suits e-commerce business, and I'm going to try and more move into the branded e-commerce space. But of course, I'm still working on dropshipping products and dropshipping stores on the side as well.
Thanks. And guys, if you want to learn more tips on how to create a successful e-commerce business, just visit Elliott's YouTube channel through the link below on the description and subscribe. So cool. So thank you so much for accepting our invitation and to be our guest today. I'm so glad to have you here with us. So we just collected 7 Shopify stores from 7 volunteers from our CJ Facebook group. So we've sent you the list. So I think you have been well prepared. So are you ready now to share with us and go over these stores and share your tips on how to improve their pages? Now let's get started with the first store, okay?
Okay, let me just share my screen. Hopefully you can see the first store.
Yeah, so what's the problem do you think this store has?
So yeah, initially I would say the logo on this store is way too big. So when a customer comes straight onto the website, all they can see is the logo, and that's going to put them off. They're not going to be able to see any of the products that you're selling, and it's just taking up way too much space. So you might want to make this quite a lot smaller, and generally I would say stick to keeping logos to the left-hand side as opposed to having it in the middle. If we just go back to the home page as well, as we scroll down, we see you've got a slider here, but this doesn't really entice customers because the images aren't really outstanding. They're sort of cut off. They don't really demonstrate the products in the best possible way. So you can see every single one of the images here is cutting off the main sort of image of the product, the main selling point. So you can see these sandals are cut off, these are cut off. So you might want to get some better product images to put for your slider that's actually going to sell them to the customer and make the customer get some interest in the product to want to actually click on it. Then as we scroll down, if we actually click on one of the product pages, there's not that much information on the actual product page. So yes, there is some information regarding what the product is made from and the size and some images. But if we have a look on some other competitor websites, so if we have a look at this website, for example, they give a really good description of these sandals. So you can see, give your Shoedrobe a chic update with these sandals. So just adding some information like that improves your chances of actually selling the product, as opposed to just having a product page with very limited information and you're just trying to get the person to just pick their style and add it to the cart straight away. They're not actually getting any information about the product itself. And one last thing that I would say about this site is you want to shy away from using serif fonts on female websites because they give a very masculine feel. So once again, if we look at some of these other websites, you can see they always use sans serif fonts on every single one of these sites. And like I said, that's because they're a lot more feminine. So you don't want to use serif fonts that look a lot more masculine, like these type of fonts. They don't really suit the branding of this type of store. Would you agree, Demi?
Yeah. I agree. So that font looks much beautiful, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And the really good thing, I mean, when you're creating a dropshipping store, you can always just look at these big brands. even though they're not dropshipping, and you can model your site off of these types of stores, and that will give you, you will look like an authority within that niche, and it just makes the branding of the site look a lot more professional and not like a typical sort of dropshipping store.
The style of that shop make me much want to buy their products.
Yeah, exactly. It looks a lot more. It just looks a lot more professional.
Vivid color, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Vivid color and beautiful images.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing is the images. So with these types of stores, when you're selling fashion items, the best thing that you can do is try and get some custom content, because that's what really sets you apart from all of the other stores selling similar products. So you've got sort of two options with these type of stores. You either go down the custom content route, where you're creating custom images, custom videos of the products, and that way you can sell them for higher prices. Or if you're going to just keep the regular images from AliExpress, then you're going to have to sell them for a bit cheaper. So for this store, the prices are quite high, considering that there's no sort of custom content that's been put into this store. So I would definitely recommend that as well, because it's going to be hard to compete with websites like this, where they have custom content and also the products are fairly cheap as well. So that's just another thing to keep in mind for these sort of fashion stores as well. So I'll move on to the next store that we'll review. So Keep Fit Health, which I really like the name of this store, and the general branding is nice. But one thing I would say is, if I just refresh the website, I've noticed that you're using the Flatsome theme. So that's a really good WordPress theme to use. I think it's the #1 selling e-commerce theme for WordPress and WooCommerce. But the only thing about this theme is it can load quite slow. So as you can see, as I'm scrolling, the images are loading quite slow. So one thing that I would recommend to do is to try and decrease the loading time. So you can do things like compress the images to make them smaller before you upload them. You can delete any unnecessary plugins. So usually when you create a WordPress store, you might have a lot of plugins. So anything that you probably don't need, just go and delete those plugins. And then one last thing that you can do, of course, is to upgrade your hosting provider. So if you're using fairly cheap hosting, you might want to upgrade that to better hosting, and that way your site will load a lot faster, and that will improve your conversion rate. Because if your site takes 2 or 3 seconds to load, then usually people just click off and they don't bother, going any further or making a purchase. So that's one thing
totally
I would
agree.
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing I would definitely recommend. Another thing, so this is of course a one product store. Overall, I would say the general styling is good, but there are definitely a few things that you could improve on. So instead of just having a shop now button here, you could also have the learn more button up here. So you've got learn more down in these two sections, but you could have a learn more button here. So if I just show you two stores that I have, which are very similar to this store. So this is a one product store that I'm running, once again using the same theme. So this is the Flatsome theme with WordPress. You can see I've got this buy now button, and I've also got this watch video. So instead of just having the shop now, you could have a learn more or a watch video. So if somebody clicks on this, it brings them down to a video of the product. And once again, that demonstrates the product live to the customer, which makes them more likely to make a purchase. So you definitely want to add another button to your initial homepage. You could even create a video for this product using something like Fiverr or any other video creation service, or you could just order the product yourself and create it yourself. And if you can't do that, then you're going to want to add another learn more button here. And I've also got another one product store, the same. So once again, if you click on watch now, it brings them down to the video where the product is being demonstrated. So that's the first initial thing that I would recommend. Having had a look at this store, when I click on learn more, I would say this area is quite cramped. So you might want to space this out a little bit. And once again, what you could do is, so if we scroll down, let's click on the reviews. If we click on the custom reviews, they're all the way down here. So they're quite hard to get to. So you might want to add this in your menu somewhere where people can just click reviews and it brings them over to the reviews. So once again, if we go back to this store that I have, if we click on reviews, it brings them straight down to the reviews on the homepage, and they can look at them straight away. And once again, that's the same with this store. So if we click on reviews, it brings them straight to the reviews. Whereas on this website you have here, it was quite difficult to actually find the reviews. So I had to go through about 3 or 4 different clicks. So we're clicking on learn more, and then we're clicking on reviews to find this. Whereas if you just have it in your header, it's a lot easier to find for the customer. So I would definitely recommend doing that. And like I said, you perhaps maybe want to just make this area up here a little less cramped. A few other things I would mention for this store is if we go to the FAQs, you can see they're completely empty. So if you've been running ads to this site, 9 times out of 10, no one's ever going to purchase from your store if they see this, because it just screams that this store is not safe to purchase from when it's basically incomplete.
So these FAQs are totally fake.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't provide any information.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it just, as a customer, it's not going to give you confidence to purchase from a store when there's no FAQs. And the fact that you've got them in your header, people are going to click on them. So when they see this, they're just going to click away from your site. So once again, if we just go to one of these stores, if I just click on FAQs, you can see it brings them down to the FAQs straight away. And we can see that we've got all of the questions that people might be asking. Same for this store as well. If we click on FAQs, and once again, it's the same theme. So you can obviously do the exact same thing. You can see here, we have all of the different FAQs. So maybe go and have a look at these stores and you can design your FAQs around that. And another thing I would say is if we go over to the Contact Us, you never really want to try and sell people something on the Contact Us page, because this page is more about building trust with the customer as opposed to try and sell them a product. So if they click on contact because they want to just check that if they purchase the product, they can contact you somehow about shipping, or if they want a refund, and they just see this, it's once again, it's going to sort of kill that confidence and trust with the customer, because you do have the contact form down here, but it doesn't show them straight away. So they have to scroll for a little bit. So I would just delete this whole area completely and just have the contact form on its own. Once again, if you just have a look at one of these stores, if we click on Contact Us, it just brings them straight to the form where they can contact straight away. And the same with this store here. It just brings them straight to the form. Once again, that's just an easy way to build trust with customers before they actually purchase a product. Okay, so I'll go to the next store, which is the huggypillow.com. With this one, I really like the name. That's a really great branded name. The logo looks really good. And if we just go back to the homepage, it is just a simple one product store using the Debutify theme, I think, on Shopify. So yeah, the homepage is pretty basic, but with these types of stores, I'm assuming you're running all of the traffic to the product page. So the homepage doesn't really matter too much, as long as it looks fairly professional and it doesn't have anything that stands out that looks pretty bad, then it should be totally fine. But one thing I would say is you want to put some more information in this area where the customer initially comes on to the product page, because all of the information so far is sort of down the bottom. So when they come straight on, if they just see this, they might just click straight off. So try and add a GIF here or a little bit more information in this initial area. So as soon as they see it, you're feeding them information about the benefits and features of the product. And that way you're going to entice them to want to scroll more, and then they'll find even more information about the product. Another thing I would mention is just in this FAQs area, I would have something about the shipping, because if we click onto the shipping and delivery area, you do have information about the shipping, but now you've taken the customer away from the product page. So because they wanted to find out information about the shipping and delivery, they've had to click away from the product page, and you never want your customer to come off of the product page. So if we go back, you could just have that information here about shipping and delivery and refunds as well. So that way they don't need to click on any of these extra pages to find the information. All of the information they need is straight on the product page. And then if they're happy with the shipping times, with the refund policy, they can just scroll back up and add to cart. And one last thing to mention on this store, with the Debutify theme that you're using, they do have a sticky buy now button or sticky add to cart button on the theme. So I would recommend turning that on. So that way as you scroll, it will prompt
You will
them.
see the button there.
It prompts them to add the product to the cart. So that way you're giving yourself an extra chance of making a sale. So if somebody comes down to check the customer reviews, they might be reading this and now they want to add it to the cart, so they can just click it here instead of scrolling all the way back up and clicking add to cart. If we check the track my order page, it brings you to another site. Now, this is totally fine, but what I would say is you don't want it to open up in a new tab. So when I click this now, it opens in the same tab, but you want it to open up in a new tab. So that way they've got the product page and the tracking page still open. So they can easily just navigate back to the product page and add the product to the cart. So those are just a few small things that I would say, but overall, it seems like a decent product. You probably could make some sales with it, but you might want to add a product video, maybe a GIF as well, just to actually demonstrate the product in real life. But overall, a pretty decent store, I would say. So I'll move on to the next store.
Okay, next store is it's a pet niche store.
Yes, a pet niche store. So I don't know if you would agree, but quite a competitive niche, I would say. And once again, I think you're using the Day Beautify theme. So the store initially, it looks really good. The name's really good. The logo's really good. It's just a really competitive niche to get into.
The logo is cute, I think. Yeah.
Sorry?
Oh, the logo is so cute.
Yes. Yeah, the logo does look really good. I really like that logo. So yeah, I would say, you've got some cool products. If we click on one of the product pages, we can see you've given some good information, a good overview, and you've got some good images. Once again, maybe you want to add a GIF. You can see we've got that sticky buy now button that I was mentioning. So like I said, that really helps to increase conversions. But the only thing I would say is, like I said, because it's such a competitive niche, it's going to be hard to compete with all of the other different stores that are selling the same products. Now, one way that you can sort of stand out of the crowd from all of the other pet niche stores out there is to build an audience. So if we just have a look at your Instagram page, I can see here, sorry, let's just wait for it to load. We can see here that you're just posting pictures of the products, and generally this isn't going to help you build an audience because it doesn't provide any value to your customer or to your audience. So what I would recommend if you're running a pet niche store, or any niche store, but especially a pet niche store, is you want to create some content for Instagram or for YouTube or for Facebook, doesn't really matter, around how you can improve the lives of pet owners. So maybe you have a pet yourself. You could show them how your cat uses this product. So you could make some videos of the cat using this product and just say, if your cat's bored, this is one of the best products to keep them engaged. You could talk about the benefits. It means that they're not going to scratch your furniture because they'll be occupied using this. Or if you leave your cat at home all day on its own, then this would be a great product to make sure they don't get bored. So you can create that type of content to stand out from the crowd. If you're just running ads to this type of store, it may be difficult to make a profit because the prices are quite low. So you're probably only making $10 to $15 profit per product. And with Facebook, because the cost per click, cost per 1,000 impressions is going up quite a lot, it's going to be hard to make profit by running ads. So like I said, the best type of way to build up a store like this is to build a following. And the best way to build a following is to create content that will actually improve your audience's life. So I think that would be the best sort of advice. In terms of the actual store though itself, it looks professional. It looks pretty good. You just need to find a way to make it stand out from all of the other hundreds or thousands of stores that are selling pet products.
Yeah, spend more efforts on marketing.
Yep, definitely.
So the Instagram page just looks like a store, not an Instagram page that people like to follow. Exactly.
Yeah, it just looks like we're just trying to sell you stuff, basically.
Yeah,
as opposed to...
It should make more... So he should make more interesting contents for the followers.
Yep, exactly. So the next store that we have is this Go Comfort store. So if I just go back to the home page, This is sort of similar to a problem from one of the earlier stores that we looked at, which is it doesn't really demonstrate the product. I don't really know what product it is you're selling. When I come over to the homepage, it does say buy two, get one free, but I don't actually know on what product, and it's just telling us about a sale. But once again, it doesn't really tell us what product are we actually buying. And so you're using the debut theme, which is a perfectly fine to use. But from my personal opinion, in 2021, going into 2022, these types of stores are really difficult to make a profit with, just because they don't stand out from the crowd. So the products on here are fairly basic, the branding is fairly basic, and it doesn't look like a lot of effort has gone into this store. And it's once again, that doesn't really give a lot of trust and confidence to a customer. So people are becoming more aware of dropshipping sites. So when they see a site like this, like I said, it doesn't build a lot of confidence with your customer, because initially they don't know what product it is. Then if we do click on one of the products, so let's just say we click on this product here, it's not a wow factor product. So if you're trying to run Facebook ads or any other type of ads, Pinterest or TikTok or something, this doesn't really sort of capture the customer's attention initially. They're just a pair of sandals, for comfort. So yeah, although they do have some good benefits and things like that, I wouldn't say it's something that's going to wow somebody to want to click on it and make a purchase. So it could be difficult. I would recommend perhaps maybe keep the store and maybe go down a different route to pick a niche. Or if you are going to run this type of store where you're selling different types of products, you really want to sell a product that is a wow factor product. It really stands out from the crowd. And that way, if you do advertise it on platforms like Facebook, you're really enticing the customer to actually want to purchase it. And I mean, I believe you're probably just running all of the traffic to the product pages. So it doesn't really matter too much that the homepage only says buy two, get one free. But if for whatever reason, if a customer does click from one of the product pages to the homepage, you definitely want to have some more information here about the type of store that you are, the type of products that you sell. Once again, just to build trust with the customer. So yeah, I would say maybe go back to the drawing board with this store and either go down the route of wow factor products or niche products for a particular niche. So the next one we have is Phoenix Rising Deals. So I believe this is your own brand of coffee. I would say the homepage, you're going to want to change your logo. It's really sort of hard to make out what the logo is. It sort of, you'll just want to change it. I would say. I mean, maybe this sort of sun background is okay, but you want to make it stand out a little bit more. If you're sort of trying to start your own brand, you want it to be really recognizable, whereas this is not instantly recognizable. I would also say this font here just looks a little bit amateur, maybe a little bit sort of childish. You might want to think about changing it to something that looks a little bit more professional. And as I'm scrolling, once again, coffee is a really competitive niche. There's so many big brands out there already that people love. So you really need a unique selling point if you're trying to sell your own coffee brand. And, that's got to be the flavors or something that's completely unique to all of the other coffee brands out there. Maybe it's that you're more friendly to the environment or something like that. So you need a really unique selling point, and that unique selling point needs to be obvious to the customer. Whereas here, to me, it just looks like sort of it's just selling basic coffee. I wouldn't know why I would buy this over my favorite coffee brand. So one way you can stand out is by, once again, creating custom content. So you're using a lot of stock images here, and that doesn't really make a customer want to make a purchase. It just sort of looks low effort. I know you've got this sort of as your unique selling point or as your mission, where you're you're giving some proceeds to charity from your profit, which is a good unique selling point. But once again, this isn't obvious when people are scrolling through. So maybe you want to create a video where you actually talk about this charity and what you do and how your coffee helps to actually promote this charity, or how you actually donate to this charity. Once again, you can create content around that on Facebook, on Instagram, on all different social media platforms. That's how you can build a following, rather than sort of just trying to sell your coffee brand with stock images and things like that. So if we actually just go, if I just click on shop now, let me click on try some. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this is being private labeled, which is great. That's a great way to start because you have your own brand, you can build it up. But if we actually click on one of the product pages, once again, there's nothing on here that really makes it stand out. You might want to create some images, you might want to create some videos of people drinking the coffee, or have some customer reviews talking about, how it's their favorite flavor and things like that. So there's nothing really on here that stands out. And I'm only saying that is because it is a really competitive niche. If you can sort of not put as much effort in a low competitive niche, but in something like coffee, you need to really stand out from the crowd. So I would recommend just creating as much content as you can, and perhaps making your logo stand out a bit more so that it's instantly recognizable. So that way you can build up your brand over time. When people see your logo, they're going to know what it is. So yeah, it's a competitive space, but if you can make yourself stand out, then you can definitely succeed, I would say. So the next store, so this is the 7th and final store we're going to review, which is Kitchen's Fun. So I really like the look of this store. Once again, it's the Day Beautify theme. Initially, what I would say is you might want to add your logo. So as we scroll, the logo comes up, but from here you can't see it. So we could just sort of see the text of Kitchen's Fun, and it's kind of hard to read. So you might want to just add your logo there instead, or even just change this text to white so that it stands out a bit more. The category area down here, once again, I would change the text to white to make it easier to read. And also you might want to, you should add some products to this category. You don't ever want to have any categories that don't have any products. Once again, it's part of building trust with the customer. When they come over to this section and they see that this has 0 products, it might just look a little bit weird to them, and that's going to make them lose confidence in purchasing from your store. If we have a look at some of the pages, so you've got all of the necessary pages, so it looks really good. You've got the track my order page. It doesn't bring you to another site or anything like that. We have the contact us page. Everything's looking really good. And then if we just go over to the product pages, so let's go to kitchenware and have a look at one of the product pages. So you can see you've got a lot of cool products. So these are the type of products I was mentioning earlier. These are sort of wow factor products. So I would say you're in a good niche. You've created a good niche store and you've got some really wow factor products, and just maybe the pricing may be a little bit difficult to make a profit with Facebook ads, because once again, you're probably only making $10 to $15. So it could be difficult. So what I would say with this type of store is you might want to use another avenue like Pinterest. So on Pinterest, a lot of people are still interested in these types of products, but the actual costs of running the ads are actually a lot cheaper than something like Facebook. So you might want to just go down a different avenue, or maybe even Google Shopping, again, is a lot cheaper than Facebook, but people are still interested in these types of products. So if we just have a look, you've got some information here. That looks pretty good. I would try and put, once again, some more information in this section as well. So as soon as somebody comes onto the product page, they don't need to scroll to actually find out information about the product. They can just see all of the information here. But it looks really good. You've got that sticky add to cart button, which is great again. Once again, you might want to create some videos. So if we scroll up, let's see if we can find any videos of the product. So maybe not for this particular product. If you can create some videos and some GIFs that you can add. I think here's a video. So I would say have the video down here as well somewhere, so that people don't need to scroll through to find it like I just had to, or just have this earlier on in your gallery. So this is sort of like 5 or 6 images down in the gallery to find the video. You might want to have that one or two images down so somebody can actually see the product straight away, because videos are what really sell the product. And then as we scroll, we do have the reviews, so that's really good. So I would say this is probably the best store that we've reviewed today so far. They've got pretty much everything in place. Like I said, it's just a matter of how you plan on marketing it. If you're using Facebook ads, it may not be profitable just because the prices of the products are quite low. But like I said, if you go for another option like Pinterest or Google Shopping, you could turn a profit with this type of store, I would say.
That's all for the 7-star reviewing. It's so inspiring from your reviews, and I've learned a lot from today's meeting. So do the audience out there, I think. So guys, if you want to see more star reviewing videos like this, just smash like to let me know so we can produce more videos like this for you.
I would just say, if you're just a beginner starting out, keep going, don't give up. Keep changing up your stores if it's not working, and eventually you should get something that works.
Elliott, thank you again for accepting my invitation and really enjoyed today's meeting. So appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Demi.
And thank you again for your time, and hope we can have another meeting soon.
No worries. See you soon.
And guys, thanks so much for watching today. See you soon at next video. Bye.